Hello everybody. So let's start off with the loops that we had seen in the previous session. In the last session we saw the concept of for loop, where we saw we need to initialize, then we need to provide the final condition and the increment and decrement option also. But sometimes we are not very sure how many times the loop is going to execute it to get executed. So in that case we have another option of using the while loop. So while loop construct is used to for a block of statements that we want and to execute depending on a specific condition. Here we do not specify where we are starting from and how many times the loop will execute, but only we specify when the loop should stop. For example, a particular block we want to continue till the user says yes. So if the user says yes, we may continue it for say 10 times or maybe 50 times also. So here in the for loop we are actually fixing up how many times the loop will get executed. But here it is only dependent on the final condition. So the syntax of the while loop would be while, and in the simple bracket we provide the expression, and within the pair of curly brackets we provide the statements. So let's start off with programming, and here we are taking a very basic example. Let's take a variable I whose initial value is 1, and we will continue till I becomes 10, and we are simply displaying the value of I, and here we are writing I++. So observe this condition part. Right now I value is 1. 1 is less than equal to 10. So the condition is true. If it is true, the block will get executed. Now, if I do not provide this condition, this statement for incrementing the value of I, then I will remain 1 and this condition will always be true. So in this case, the program will go in an infinite loop. That is why we need to specify some statements in order to terminate the loop. Somewhere the loop should stop. So now let's execute this program. And here we will simply get the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here you will observe that this is the output of the given program. Now let's go ahead and take another example. So here we are writing the program to calculate the power of a number, that is m to the power n. This example we had done with the for loop also. Now the same thing we are going to do with the while loop. So here the variables m and n. M is the base, n is the exponent. We are accepting these values from the user. Now we have to continue the loop n times because n is the exponent. So while n is greater than equal to 1, then p is equal to p into m, n minus minus. Every time we are multiplying the expression with m. This multiplication needs to continue for n times. And finally we are displaying the result as p. So now let's execute the code and see the output. So here we are accepting the values 4 and exponent is 3. So you may see the result is 64. Now after understanding the while loop, let us go with the next one, that is do while loop. So first observe the syntax here. Do keyword is there, then with a pair of curly brackets, and after the end of the curly bracket we are writing the while statement. The meaning is check the condition after executing the loop. So this is the major difference between the while loop and the do while loop. In case of while loop, we check the condition first. If the condition is true, then only the block is executed. But in case of do while loop, the condition is checked at the end. The meaning is even if condition is false, execute this block and then check the condition. So whatever we are writing inside the do while loop, there is a guarantee that it will get executed at least one, even if the condition is false. But in case of while loop, if the condition is false, the loop will not get executed at all. So here you will observe that we are saying execute the body of the loop, evaluate the condition. If the condition is true, keep on performing the loop. If the condition is false, exit from the loop. But in case of while loop, it says first check the condition. If the condition is false, just stop or exit from the loop. Whereas if the condition is true, then continue executing the block. One of the very common use of do while loop would be to use the switch case inside the do while block. That means without checking the condition, show the options to the user, and the user will select a particular option, perform the particular operation, and at the end ask the user, do you wish to continue, and accept his answer. So now we are saying while the answer is yes, continue. So even if the initially we are not asking the user, we are simply displaying the loop. So first of all, this block will get executed, and then the user will be prompted to accept his choice if he wants to continue. So if you observe this, we have a menu. So if I enter even odd, so I am accepting the number from the user. The number is odd. And now it is giving us a message, do you wish to continue? So now I say yes, and I go for the same option because I want to check for even also. So here you will see 4 is even. And then I may again say yes and continue with the program. So the choice is here. Again, we may exit from the loop by writing no. So you may see I have not done the implementation of all the blocks. I am just giving here the message for simplicity. So only for the first one we have implemented. So first of all, the menu is being prompted to the user, and then we are accepting the choice. Based on the choice, perform the task and then ask the user if he wishes to continue. And so here we can use the do while loop. Remember, there is a semicolon at the end of do while loop. So this would be the explanation of the while and the do while loop. Let's stop here for today. Thank you.